The year is 1832. The place is the Wisconsin River near the village of Prairie du Chien in the Michigan Territory. A band of starving, exhausted Sauk and Fox men, women, and children are trying to cross the river. They have been on the run for weeks. They have walked hundreds of miles. They have fought 3 battles against the United States Army and the Illinois militia. They have lost most of their warriors. Their women are carrying their children on their backs. Their old ones are dying of hunger and exposure. They are heading west toward the land of the Sioux, the ancient enemies of the Sauk. They hope to find safety there. They hope to find a new home. But the Americans will not let them go. A steamboat named the Warrior appears on the river. It is armed with a cannon. The Americans on board call out, "Surrender! Lay down your weapons!" The leader of the Sauk band looks at his people. He looks at the steamboat. He knows that if he surrenders, his people will be sent to a reservation far from their homeland. He knows that if he fights, they will be killed. He is an old man now, perhaps 65 years old. His face is weathered, his hair is gray, his body is scarred from decades of war. He has fought against the Osage, the Cherokee, the Sioux, and now the Americans. He has never surrendered. He has never asked for mercy. But today, he looks at the children. He looks at the women. He looks at the wounded. He makes a decision that will break his heart. He raises a white flag. He steps forward. He says, "I am Black Hawk. I have done nothing of which a warrior should be ashamed. I have fought for my people. I have defended my homeland. I have never broken a treaty. But now I am tired. My people are dying. I will fight no more." The Americans take him prisoner. They put him in chains. They parade him through the streets of Washington, D.C. and Baltimore and Philadelphia. Crowds gather to stare at the great savage. They expect to see a monster. They see an old man with sad eyes. Black Hawk does not hate them. He pities them. He knows that they do not understand what they have done. They have taken his homeland, the land of his fathers, the land of his ancestors, the land where his bones were meant to rest. They have driven his people across the Mississippi River like cattle. They have broken every treaty they ever signed, and now they stare at him as if he is the savage. Black Hawk endures it. He tells his story to a government interpreter. He writes his autobiography, the first Native American autobiography ever published. He returns to his people in 1833. He dies in 1838. He is buried on the banks of the Des Moines River in Iowa. But his grave is robbed. His bones are stolen. They are displayed in a museum in Burlington, Iowa. They are destroyed in a fire in 1855. Even in death, Black Hawk could not find peace. But his spirit, his courage, his dignity, his love for his homeland could not be destroyed. This is the story of Black Hawk, the Sauk warrior who fought for his homeland, the hero of resistance. The man who taught America that a people who are pushed too far will push back. To understand Black Hawk, you must first understand the Sauk people. The Sauk, or Sac, were an Algonquian-speaking people who lived in what is now the American Midwest. Their homeland stretched across present-day Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Missouri. They lived in villages along the Mississippi River. They grew corn, beans, and squash. They hunted buffalo and deer. They were not a single tribe, but a confederation of clans. The Sauk were fierce warriors. They fought the Osage, the Cherokee, and the Sioux for control of hunting grounds. They allied with the British during the American Revolution and the War of 1812. They did not trust the Americans. The Americans, they believed, were land-hungry and promise-breakers. They were right. In 1804, a small group of Sauk leaders, drunk and without authority, signed a treaty with the American governor of the Indiana Territory, William Henry Harrison. The treaty ceded all Sauk lands east of the Mississippi River to the United States. The Sauk people did not accept the treaty. They said it was a fraud. They refused to leave. For nearly 30 years, they stayed in their homeland in the village of Saukenuk on the Rock River in present-day Illinois. Black Hawk was not a chief by birth. He was a war captain, a mukatata, a man who led warriors in battle but had no authority in civil affairs. He was born in 1767 in Saukenuk. His father was a medicine man and warrior. Black Hawk grew up hearing stories of the old days, when the Sauk were free, when the buffalo were plentiful, when the land belonged to the people. He fought his first battle at age 15. He led his first raid at age 19. He was respected by his people not because of his lineage, but because of his courage. He was not a politician. He was a warrior, and he could not understand how a people could sell their homeland. Land cannot be sold, he said. It belongs to the Great Spirit. We are only its caretakers. How can you sell something that you do not own? This belief that land was sacred, not commercial, was the heart of Black Hawk's resistance. He was not fighting for glory. He was not fighting for power. He was fighting for the bones of his ancestors. The War of 1812 was a turning point. Black Hawk allied with the British, believing that they would help the Sauk keep their land. He fought alongside the British General Isaac Brock. He was present at the Battle of the Thames, where the great Shawnee leader Tecumseh was killed. Black Hawk mourned Tecumseh as a brother. After the war, the British abandoned their native allies. The Americans demanded that the Sauk leave their homeland. Black Hawk refused. He returned to Saukenuk. He farmed. He hunted. He raised his family. He watched as American settlers moved onto Sauk land. He watched as the settlers built cabins, fenced fields, and plowed up the graves of his ancestors. He watched as the young men of his tribe grew angry and desperate. In 1830, the American government ordered the Sauk to leave Saukenuk immediately. Most of the Sauk, led by a chief named Keokuk, crossed the Mississippi and settled in Iowa. Black Hawk refused. He said, "I have never signed a treaty. I have never sold my land. I will not leave." For 2 years, he and a small band of followers stayed in Saukenuk. They planted corn. They hunted. They waited. In April 1832, Black Hawk made a decision. He would cross the Mississippi, but not to abandon his homeland. He would cross to recruit allies. He would ask the Potawatomi, the Ho-Chunk, and the Kickapoo to join him in a war to drive the Americans out. He raised a British flag, a symbol of his old alliance. He told his followers, "We will fight for our homeland. If we die as warriors. If we live free." He did not know that the Americans had already labeled him a hostile. He did not know that the governor of Illinois, John Reynolds, had called out the militia. He did not know that the United States Army was marching toward him. He led about 500 men, women, and children across the Mississippi. He intended to march to Saukenuk, then to the British fort at Green Bay to seek help. He never made it. The Black Hawk War lasted only 3 months, from April to August 1832. It was not a war of great battles. It was a running fight, a desperate flight through the swamps and forests of Illinois and Wisconsin. Black Hawk's band was hunted by over 1,000 Illinois militia and U.S. Army regulars. The militia was led by General Henry Atkinson and a young colonel named Zachary Taylor, who would later become President of the United States. An Illinois militia major named Abraham Lincoln served in the war. He saw no combat. He later joked that he had fought many bloody battles with mosquitoes. The war was brutal. At the Battle of Stillman's Run, Black Hawk's warriors routed a larger force of militia, but Black Hawk had only wanted to parley. He had sent 3 messengers with a white flag. The militia killed them. The battle that followed was a slaughter of panicked soldiers. The militia fled. Black Hawk was horrified. He knew that the Americans would now seek revenge. He tried to surrender. The Americans refused. They wanted blood. The decisive battle came at the Wisconsin River. Black Hawk's band tried to cross. The steamboat Warrior arrived. The Americans opened fire with their cannon. Dozens of Sauk women and children were killed. The survivors fled into the swamps. They had no food. They had no shelter. They had no hope. The final battle was at the Bad Axe River near the Mississippi. Black Hawk's band was trapped between the American army and the river. They tried to cross. The Americans shot them as they swam. The water turned red. Hundreds of Sauk men, women, and children were killed. Black Hawk escaped. He fled north toward the Ho-Chunk. He was captured by a Ho-Chunk warrior who turned him over to the Americans. He was taken to Fort Crawford. He was put in chains. He was told that he would be sent to Washington. He did not resist. He said, "I have done what I thought was right. I have fought for my people. I have no regrets." After his surrender, Black Hawk was taken on a tour of the eastern cities, Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York. The American government wanted to show him the power of the United States. They wanted him to understand that resistance was futile. Black Hawk saw the cities, the factories, the warships, the crowds. He was not intimidated. He was sad. He said, "I have seen the power of the white man. It is great, but it is not the power of the Great Spirit. The Great Spirit made the land for all people. He did not make it for one people to take from another." While he was in captivity, Black Hawk told his life story to a government interpreter named Antoine Leclerc. The book, The Autobiography of Maka Taime Shekiakiak, or Black Hawk, was published in 1833. It was the first Native American autobiography ever published. It is still in print today. In it, Black Hawk speaks with dignity, wisdom, and sorrow. He does not ask for pity. He asks for understanding. He writes, "I have fought for my people. I have never done anything of which a warrior should be ashamed. If the white men want to know what a Sauk warrior is, let them read my story." In 1833, Black Hawk was returned to his people, now living on the Des Moines River in Iowa. He was a prisoner in his own homeland. He was watched by American agents. He could not leave the reservation. He lived for 5 more years. He died on October 3rd, 1838. He was buried on a hillside overlooking the river. His grave was marked by a small wooden fence, but his enemies did not leave him in peace. His grave was robbed. His bones were stolen. They were displayed in a museum in Burlington, Iowa. The museum burned in 1855. Black Hawk's bones were destroyed. Or so the story goes. Some say that his bones were rescued and buried secretly. No one knows for certain. The location of Black Hawk's remains is a mystery. Perhaps that is fitting. A man who loved his homeland so much that he fought for it until the end, a man whose bones were stolen and scattered, now rests in the land itself, in the soil of Iowa, in the waters of the Mississippi, in the memory of his people. So what can we learn from Black Hawk? First, that homeland is sacred. Black Hawk did not fight for money or power. He fought for the land where his ancestors were buried. He believed that land could not be sold, only borrowed. That belief is not primitive. It is profound. Second, that courage is not about winning. Black Hawk lost. He lost his war, his homeland, and his freedom. But he never lost his dignity. He never begged. He never apologized for fighting. He said, "I did what I thought was right. I would do it again." That is courage. Third, that words are weapons. Black Hawk's autobiography is a weapon of truth. It told the American people what their government had done. It humanized the savage they feared. It forced readers to see the war from the other side. Words can outlast armies. Black Hawk's words have outlasted every general who fought against him. Fourth, that a leader's greatest duty is to protect the vulnerable. Black Hawk surrendered not because he was afraid, but because his people were dying. The children were starving, the wounded were freezing. He put their lives above his pride. That is the mark of a true leader. Fifth, that reconciliation is possible even after betrayal. After his return to Iowa, Black Hawk did not preach revenge. He did not call for more war. He lived in peace. He accepted the friendship of the Americans who had defeated him. He even posed for portraits with the man who had captured him. He did not forgive, not entirely, but he made peace. That is the hardest thing any warrior can do. Today, Black Hawk is remembered in many ways. There is a statue of him in Sauk, Illinois, on the site of his birthplace. There is a Black Hawk State Park in Illinois. There is a Black Hawk County in Iowa. The Chicago Black Hawks hockey team is named after him, though their logo is not his face. His autobiography is still read in schools. His name is spoken with respect by Native Americans and non-natives alike. He is not a forgotten figure. He is a symbol of resistance, a symbol of dignity, a symbol of a people who refuse to disappear. The Sauk are still here. They are still on the reservation in Iowa. They still tell the story of Black Hawk. They still sing the songs they still remember. Because Black Hawk is not just a man. He is a memory of a time when the land was free. A memory of a warrior who would not sell his homeland. A memory of a leader who fought until his people were safe. And then, when they were not safe, he surrendered. Not because he was weak, but because he was strong enough to put their lives above his pride. That is the story of Black Hawk. The Sauk warrior, the hero of resistance, the man who fought for his homeland, and the legend that will never, ever be destroyed, not even by fire. His bones may be gone, but his spirit rides on the winds of the Mississippi, in the heart of the prairie, in the memory of all who believe that some things are worth fighting for. Black Hawk, Makataimi Shekiakiak, be a large black hawk. He was, he is, he will always be. This is the story of a warrior. This is the story of a homeland. This is the story of Black Hawk.